Here we are on the back side of the 5-1-5-2 practice test. Let's take a look at number 5. The first thing that I want to do here is I want to multiply both the top and bottom by the conjugate of our denominator, which would be 1 minus the cosecant x. When I multiply the top out, I'm just going to leave it as 1 minus the cosecant x times the cotangent squared. On the bottom, I get 1 minus the cosecant squared x. From my identities, I know that the cosecant squared is equal to 1 plus the cotan squared. So I'm going to do the substitution here, and I'm going to cotan squared x, and I'm going to get 1 minus, notice that the negative is right before the cosecant, so I'm going to have a parenthesis there, 1 plus the cotan squared x. When I move it up here, I'm going to have the 1 and the negative 1 are going to go away, and I'm going to leave the 1 minus the cosecant x cotan squared x on the top. I'm leaving it alone for now. And I have the cotan squared. Notice that when I distribute the negative, it's a negative cotan there. Then if I have a cotan on top, cotan squared on the bottom, I'm going to cross those out. And notice that my negative is left over. So I'm going to have negative 1 minus the cosecant. And if I distribute, I get, change the order, I get the positive cosecant x minus 1, which is what we're supposed to have. Let's take a look at number 6. In this one, we're going to use we have two trig functions that we're going to, first of all, I want to just change everything into sines and cosines for now. And I'm going to use this as cosine squared x over sine squared x for my cotan. I'm going to multiply that by 1 over the cosine squared minus 1. When I do some simplifying, the cosine times the cosine, 1 over the cosine, it's going to go away, and I'm going to have 1 over the sine squared minus the 1, nothing's going to go away, so I have cosine squared x over the sine squared x. If I move it up top and write it as a common denominator, I get 1 minus the cosine squared x all over the sine squared x. And the identity sine squared x plus cosine squared x equals 1. I have a 1 here, so I'm going to put this in for the 1. And I'll have sine squared x plus cosine squared x minus the cosine squared that's already there, all over the sine squared x. If you see, we have this, and cosine and negative cosine go away, so I'm left with the sine of x squared, or sine squared of x over the sine squared of x. Well, this is equal to 1. And on this side, if I take the sine times 1 over the sine, which is the cosecant, I also get 1. We can write the 1 on this side as sine x times cosecant x just as well as it in any other form of 1 that we would like. So I'm going to leave it like this. And the last one that we're going to look at here. If I look at this, I see that these two are conjugates of each other. So I'm going to multiply the top of this one by 1 minus the sine, top and bottom. And this one I'm going to multiply top and bottom by 1 plus the sine. When I do that, I get on top 1 minus the sine x plus 1 plus the sine of x. And in the denominator, I get 1 minus the sine squared x. On the top, if you see, we have a negative sign and a positive sign, so they're going to go away, leaving me with 2. And on the bottom, I have 1 minus the sine squared. Again, we're going to use that Pythagorean identity that we used before, the sine squared x plus the cosine squared x equals 1. So I'm going to write this as the sine squared x plus the cosine squared x minus the sine squared x. And the positive sign and the negative sign go away. And I'm left with, on top, I have the 2. On the bottom, I have the cosine squared x. And my last step is to move the cosine up, and it becomes the secant. And we're done. Enjoy!